The Chief Executive of HS2 Limited has mounted a robust defence of the project during a visit to the region today. Alison Munro and the Board of High Speed Rail were in Birmingham to hold their first meeting outside London.
It comes as the plan to build a fast link from the capital to Birmingham in the north has come under fire from a series of leading politicians as well as campaigners who've opposed it from the outset. In a moment we'll hear from the Chief Executive. But first, here's our transport correspondent Peter Plisner.
A pop-up park outside Birmingham's Council House. Not the only thing to pop up today. Fresh from the train from London, the board of HS2 Limited here to discuss a variety of issues and meet some of those in favour of the project.
The reason we came to Birmingham first is because we see Birmingham as critical to the whole high-speed rail system in the UK, because it's at the very heart and will continue to be at the heart of the new railway network.
One board member knows only too well how high-speed rail can change things. Richard Brown used to run Eurostar services between London, Paris and Brussels.
It is about bringing cities closer together. If you take London to Paris with Eurostar, the French now call London France's sixth city because of the number of French people who now live and work there. And likewise, there is a large number of British people living and working in Paris.
Later, the board looked around Birmingham's east side site for the proposed city centre HS2 station. Here, regeneration has already started, and it's hoped that high-speed rail will see that continue. Today's meeting has been more than just an opportunity to meet those here in the Midlands who've been supporting HS2. It's also provided an ideal PR opportunity following weeks of negative publicity about what is still a very controversial project. A report from the National Audit Office said the benefits to the economy were unclear, while the Public Accounts Committee said the project had over-optimistic and unrealised forecasts. Recently, the former Business Secretary, Lord Mandelson, said HS2 could be an expensive mistake, while the Shadow Chancellor, Ed Balls, suggested spending HS2 money on traditional rail enhancements. With some in the Labour Party now lukewarm on HS2, would the leader of Birmingham's Labour-led council still support the project if his party turned against it?
I am going to remain committed to delivering HS2. I think it is to the economic advantage of Birmingham and indeed the West Midlands.
Despite recent criticism and rising costs of the project, there are still claims that HS2 could create more than 20,000 jobs in the West Midlands and provide a big boost for the region's economy. Peter Plisner, BBC Midlands Today.
Earlier I spoke to the Chief Executive of HS2 Limited, Alison Munro, the company behind the high-speed rail project. Why did they decide to meet in Birmingham today?
Well, High Speed 2 is a national network. It links 8 out of our 10 major cities. And our board thinks it's really important that we get out to those major cities, get an opportunity to talk to local partners, local businesses. So we're going to have every other board meeting in one of the core cities that will be served by High Speed 2. So we're starting with Birmingham. We're going to Liverpool next. So I say we will go around the cities and make sure that we're in touch with the people there and can talk to them about how those cities can maximise the opportunities that High Speed 2 can bring.
I mean, the amount of money it's going to cost, another 10 billion has just been added on. I mean, that is a daunting prospect.
Well, this is a massive project. This will be the largest infrastructure project in Europe. The government has taken a prudent view in looking at the budgets that it sets for High Speed 2 to make sure that there is a sufficient contingency there for things that might come along in the future. But the important thing is that contingency isn't available to us as a project. We're set a much tighter target. So the government is expecting us to deliver the project well within that cost.
Is it all worth it?
Absolutely. I think you only have to look at, if you travel on the railway as I do, between our major cities, you can see it is already very crowded. Network Rail has...
Can't they just improve what we have already?
Well, Network Rail has looked at this extensively. They conducted a study, in fact that's how the project started, looked at the problems that are going to arise on our railways in the future. Their conclusion was that the only way you can really deal with the long-term issues on the railway
All right,
is
what
to
about the
provide a
people
new
living
line.
in the countryside, for instance in Staffordshire and Warwickshire, who are devastated by all this, and they're not going to benefit either, they're going to suffer?
Well, some of the people obviously can benefit because the benefits will actually spread out through the wider region. But of course we understand the people who are directly affected along the route have genuine concerns. We have talked a lot to those people. We've recently conducted a consultation on our draft environmental statement, which has allowed us to put out a lot more information about the project and to have conversations with people. We do understand their concerns. We have shown that we can actually incorporate better measures into the project. We've added additional mitigation measures. We've been able to move the line, for example, near Chelmsford Wood, so we can address those concerns by talking to local people.
Well, joining us now from Burton Green in Warwickshire, which is on the proposed high-speed rail route, is Joe Rukin from the Stop HS2 campaign. Good evening to you, Mr. Rukin. Now this scheme is forecast to create thousands of jobs and bring billions to the economy around here. Why are you not supporting it?
Well, what they're doing at the moment is picking a random number and sticking the word jobs after it. The latest figure came out today. They were saying 50,000 jobs. That works out as £1 million to create one job. You gave me £1 million. I reckon I could create a lot more than one job and a lot quicker than HS2 will. The thing is, with HS2, it doesn't actually create those jobs anyway. It just moves them around the country. For example, you know, there's a report out by KPMG saying it would cost the South West 48,000 jobs because they'll move to places that are quicker to get to London. And that's what this is all about. It's about getting to London quicker and making sure that London remains primate within the economy.
The trouble is, from your point of view, there is, you know, as we've heard from the Chief Executive of HS2, strong cross-party support, strong political heavyweights behind it. Are you being realistic? Are you really going to achieve anything?
Oh, absolutely. See, this is the reason that you're actually seeing these spin exercises going on at the moment, is that the political consensus is breaking down. We've now had two former Chancellor of the Exchequer saying they've come out against it. Last night, another former rail minister came out against it. There's another Lord came out today. And the more and more people find out about HS2 and what it really means and look behind the spin, the more people come out against it. And we'll just keep on keeping on getting that message out that this is a vanity project and it's only going to benefit the richest in society, and the costs are just going to keep going up and up and up.
Joe Rukin, thank you.
Two men